I've also been joined on Zoom by Mustapha Gbande. He is the Deputy General Secretary of the National Democratic Congress for this conversation. Thank you so much for having you. How is the NDC preparing towards this by-election in Ejisu?
So thank you very much. Can you hear me?
I can hear you loud and clear.
Right. So we, as my colleague said, the General Secretary was at the airport meeting today. Electoral Commission gave the indication that 30th would be their preferred date to organize that by-election. The NDC is now, upon that notice, going to convene a meeting to have deliberation as to the way forward into that particular by-election. For us, the priority is that the death of John Kuma, sends a lot of pain to the NDC and all teeming youths of this country, particularly those who are engaged in politics. And so we are still mourning his loss, particularly that he's a Minister of State and an MP. We are still mourning him. We sympathize with his family and particularly the children he has left. We are quite shocked that the MPP seems to be a bit in a hurry and interested in the position than commiserating the loss of the young, particularly with the surrounding issues, suspected issues about his death and all of that. I've seen the president is unconcerned about it. The vice president is unconcerned about it. The party has been trying to do everything possible to sink every discussion around the death of John Kuma. Surprisingly, even in his 1 week, they were celebrating the 80th birthday of His Excellency President Akufo-Addo, which is quite unconscionable, very unfortunate.
All right.
And for us, we don't think that it's appropriate. So we are still mourning. Leadership will meet, and then we'll take the appropriate step. If we decide to participate in the election, just as I say not, 2 weeks is enough for us to win if we decide to participate in the election.
So at this stage, no decision has been taken yet by the party whether the NDC is actually going to partake in this by-election.
The only decision that is standing now was the instruction by the national chairman for us to mourn our brother. As of now, we haven't taken any decision yet. And so on the basis of what happened in IPAC today, a meeting will be convened to appropriately consult with the structures of the party to ensure that we are all on the same table and take a decision that is best for this country, best for the party, and a decision that best commensurates with the death of our brother, particularly his children and his family.
Okay, so we've seen a lot of, preparation on the side of the NPP. I mean, so far, some persons have picked up nomination forms and all that. Do you have a similar situation in the Ejisu constituency for the NDC, just in case after your meeting it is agreed that you take part in the by-election?
We already have a parliamentary candidate for that constituency. Even if we decide to participate, it will be a very calm election for us to participate, because particularly when people suspect that a young man has been poisoned. We condemn the MPP and the rate at which they are fighting for the position, to the extent that 9 people are fired. I mean, it's unconscionable. And so we will not be engaging in that kind of politicking. They are only dazed by the fact that they have money to share. They've gotten some state money they have to share. And so they are doing that. We will not engage in that kind of activity.
But
and so we are
Mustapha
going to
Gbande, let me come in respectfully. You do know that this is a democratic process, the fact that the seat is vacant, and definitely we need somebody to actually occupy the seat. Don't you see this as just a process, not for the NPP actually, running ahead of itself to get somebody to sit on it?
Particularly a young man who have died very painfully. We would have thought that the NPP would demonstrate some conscience to say, let us be calm, let us not behave as if it is a seat that came naturally. Let us at least show respect to the death, particularly the services of the young man to the administration of His Excellency Akufo-Addo. It is though as if they were waiting for him to die so that they share his property. So they are running after the seat unconscionably. And that is the only thing that we are concerned with. I think that what they are doing is not reflective of our customs, is not reflective of the practices and the mood of political parties towards colleagues who die painfully like this, particularly on the record when it is being alleged on the stations of senior members of the MPP that the deputy minister was poisoned, including himself and the regional chairman of the MPP. I believe that President Akufo-Addo should have demonstrated commitment to, first of all, find out what happened to his deputy minister. I mean, to be, running as if it's an ordinary by-election, for me, is unfortunate.
Okay, but Mustapha Gbande, you do know that there's an arrangement. If an MP dies or something, there's a process, there's a period within which by-elections should be held. I mean, what the MPP...
Yeah, we know that the MPP's practice have been that when you die painfully like this, they make either your family member or they try to find a way of calmly, dealing with the issues there. This one, it is a tea party for all of them. 9 people, very unconscionable, very condemnable. They are not, showing passion. They are not demonstrating any feeling of empathy towards the young man who died. And that is what is surprising. MPP of all parties, they've lost morals. They cannot even be compassionate to demonstrate some level of emotions towards the painful death of a deputy minister who was not sick, no accident. I mean, it's not correct. It's not politically correct.
All right, thank you. Thank you so much, Mustapha Gbande, for speaking to us here on Election Brief. We're grateful for your time.